There's a thin line between obedience and losing yourself.
If there is now a child that is struggling, the parent should really sit down with the child and have a proper conversation.
How would you advise a student that is going through a similar situation to just handle it?
Honestly, the first thing that I would advise any student to do is get a mentor.
What would you advise students that struggle to accept parental decisions?
Be true to yourself. Look inwards. Ask yourself questions. Do I want my child to study sciences because I didn't get the opportunity to?
How did you navigate that whole process?
When it was time to go to represent my school outside, would you believe that I would usually be part of those people?
So that means even while you were a science student, you did not lose yourself. Good day, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Flourishing Students Podcast, where we tell real stories of people who have gone through the journey of tertiary education, people who got it right, people who didn't get it right. And today we have another exciting episode. I have my guest, Mrs. Priscilla Ekundare Olowo-Okere, who is going to be taking us through our journey as a student, as someone who got into uni, studying something she necessarily did not want to study. She got into the sciences and later found herself as a creative. Today is going to be an exciting one. Like, share, invite other people, and yes, you're going to get value. So, welcome, Mrs. Priscilla. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode.
My pleasure.
Super excited to have you. Can you please introduce yourself briefly and tell us about your journey into sciences and then now as a creative?
Okay. Thanks for having me, Gift. I've always loved to be a commercial student.
Okay.
And I think this desire started for me when I was very young because my church had this bank right in front of it, right opposite it. And I used to see bankers, accountants, looking all prim and proper, all elegant and beautiful.
That's all.
Yes. So, and in their suits, I loved seeing them. And I think that was where the desire started for me. I remember telling my friends then, we were under one guava tree, playing, and everybody was saying what they wanted to be. Mine was, I want to be a banker. And that was where that desire started. I was maybe 8 years old or 9. And I got to secondary school. We started doing business studies. And I was like the favorite student of my business studies teacher because I used to tell him that I wanted to, join the commercial students in SS class. So he would encourage me, tell me, oh, yes, you can do it, all of that. I enjoyed all these balance sheets. balance carried forward, balance carried down, cash in hand, cash in bank. So I loved all those things and I was doing well at it. But when it was time for me to make the real decision that would involve my parent, my dad, to be specific, I told him, this is what I want. I want to be a commercial student. He said no. He said, what would you be doing there? And
you don't want to be a doctor?
You don't want to be a doctor. You don't want to be a nurse. My mom was a nurse. And it never occurred to me that I could be a nurse. I wasn't even interested in that path at all. So I was still struggling with that decision with him a bit. I was still trying to tell him, this is what I want. This is why I want to do this. He said no. Then it got to a point. He told my pastor's wife, who probably studied commerce or accounting in the university or maybe College of Education, I don't know. But she was in that line and she probably wasn't happy about it.
So you used that as an example.
So he chose the wrong person to talk me out of what I wanted. I remember that day. It was after the Bible study. I was in JSS 3 going to SS1. It was around maybe 9 p.m. Yes, because Bible study has ended around 8:30. We were still waiting to go home. And I was there with her right beside their car. And she was telling me, no, you can't do it. And look at this. She was giving me different excuses. And for some reasons, I felt brainwashed. Honestly, it was more like she was brainwashing me out of what I really wanted.
Wow.
And after that period, I wasn't even going to school because I don't know. I can't remember what exactly was happening during that time. But because of the back and forth, I was sort of at home going for one violin training. You know, my classmates were going to
learning. Can you imagine?
And I was stuck for a while, for a very short time though. So eventually I went back to school to study, to be in the science class. And even though my best friend was in commercial class, I just let it go.
Moved on.
I just moved on. So that was the beginning for me.
Okay, so thank you very much. You know, the reason why I took very particular, I told you before, was this intersection of, parental influence. How should students navigate parental influence? There's a thin line between obedience and losing yourself. You're trying to obey your parents, but in that whole moment, it may be that you're losing yourself. So how did you navigate that? Yeah, you were quite young because they already took the decision quite early. So it was not like it was when you were getting into uni. So how did you navigate that whole process? Maybe not just in secondary school, getting into uni. How did you navigate? Was it like you chose to say, okay, it's my dad, I need to obey, or you grudgingly took it? How did you just navigate that whole process?
It wasn't. It didn't go on for a long time. Me trying to. I didn't struggle for a long time. So the moment I stepped into SS1 and I was a science student, I just accepted. And, there is this subtle treatment that is beautiful that they give
science students.
So they see them as the most brilliant, the most intelligent students.
They have the better course options.
Do you get?
If you are not an engineer, you can be a doctor. So
yes. So the preferential treatment, that's subtle, that they give to them, sort of maybe just made me forget about what I really wanted.
Initially.
So I just let it go, and the fact that I wasn't struggling with the subjects.
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't struggling. I wasn't an exceptional student when it comes to those science core subjects. I wasn't exceptional, but I was doing well.
Okay.
I was brilliant, but I wasn't like the best students in chemistry or the best students in physics. I was close to, but not the best. So because of that, my grades would come out. All other courses, other subjects we were doing, they were, strengthening my overall results. So it didn't make it obvious that, this lady is not doing well at all. This young girl is not doing well at all. So I sort of just went with the flow.
Okay,
yeah,
so what would you advise people that are actually struggling? In your own case, you were not struggling. What would you advise people that struggle, students that struggle to accept parental decisions? Would you advise to say, okay, I want to study, especially when it's like in an advanced stage, you're getting into uni, your parents say study this, but you want to study it. What would you advise in that kind of situation?
Okay. Now, before I answer that question, I want to say that parents, first of all, should see themselves as co-creators with God when it comes to their children. First of all, God created them for a reason.
And put them in your care.
So, while they are growing, how much did you observe their abilities? How much did you observe their strengths? The things that they are naturally good at. You should see all of that as a parent. You shouldn't be carried away. I understand that, yes, you have bills to pay. You have a lot to handle personally. You have family, friends that are requiring your attention at different times and at different levels. So understand that you're a co-creator with God to know what your children is really wired to do and what their purpose is in life. I believe by the time they are growing, by the time that child or those children are growing, you would know. You would, if you pay attention enough, you would know. And when they begin to say, this is what I want,
You'll be able to guide
you'll
them.
be able to guide them. You would have people that are probably doing it in a bigger way, people that have gone ahead of them, that you can connect them with, unlike me. Yes. So now, if there is now a child that is struggling, I feel like the parent should really sit down with the child
And understand.
and have a proper conversation. Why do you want this? If that child is able to, if you are in JSS 3 right now and you're struggling with your parent accepting what you really want to do, tell them, because of this, because of this, because of this, this is where I'm
Why?
strong
So
at.
sorry to cut you. You are saying have a proper conversation. You don't necessarily to say, no, this is what I want to, and I'm going for it to, that you can do the, no. Try to have a proper conversation with your parents.
Yes. And I think parents too, because you know how parents can be.
Yes.
They don't want to have that conversation because they see it as a hard conversation. They should bring down ego, because this is your child's future. We are talking about here. So you should bring down any ego. I'm the parent. Yes, you are the parent, but you are also here to mold and shape the future of this child.
As a co-creator with God.
As a co-creator with God. So have that conversation and reason. Be reasonable. Don't try to live out your own the experience you did not have through your child. You know, there are some parents, they want to be a nurse, they want to be doctors, they wanted to be lawyers. They couldn't, and they want their child. They want to live out.
Very funny. I remember my
dreams.
mom. I remember my mom would say, so none of you wants to be a doctor. And I'll be like, Mom, you can go back to school. Go and collect the form. You can't live your life through me, right?
Yes. So don't try to live. So the reason, now look at yourself as a parent. Why am I forcing this thing on this child? Be true to yourself. Look inwards. Ask yourself questions. Do I want my child to study sciences because I didn't get the opportunity to? Now, if I, as a parent, based on what I experienced, now say, no, because I couldn't do this, my child No, that's why my husband will never allow that to happen. So, of course.
Yeah. So as parents, we must be able to listen to our children. As children, we must also be able to have these conversations respectfully.
Yeah.
If they are not listening to you, you can, get someone else that you know that they listen to. Like in my own case, there's somebody that I know that when my dad is not listening at all, you just call Big Daddy. Big Daddy will talk to Daddy and just have those conversations. Present your cause. Present, okay, Daddy, this is the reason. And I'm very sure that reasonable parents would reason along with you. And even in the long run, if they don't actually agree with you, sometimes we need to give our best shot at what we have to do now. Just like in your case, how did you said you were not an exceptional student, but you gave your best at it. So how did you navigate that part, and how do you encourage people who find themselves in situations that they necessarily do not like? How should they approach those situations?
Okay. So while I was there, throughout my SS class, I was giving in my best energy. I would read, I would attend all the lessons that I could. And chemistry, actually, I had specific areas in different subjects that I was really good at, even though I wasn't exceptional. Chemistry, for example, the organic chemistry. Now I can't really remember. But then I was like...
You gave it your best.
I was like the best when it came to organic chemistry. Physics, practical physics, I was exceptional at it. So those things were like the backups for areas where I found difficult to understand. And when it was time to actually get prefect in my secondary school, I became the head girl.
Wow.
Because when it came to overall abilities, character, leadership, they found me worthy. And they felt this lady can do
Even though
this.
you were not the best science student? Or were you like the best science student?
I wasn't the best science student. But, I mean, when it comes to overall...
The total, the awesome life.
The summation, yes. And funny enough, when it was time to go to my school, go to represent my school outside, outside, like with other
Competitions
people,
and all of that.
essays. Would you believe that I
Will still be the
would
one.
usually be part of those people
As a science student?
Yes. You know why? Because when it comes to English language,
You were good.
I was very good. And that could be an advantage for me in the arts. When it comes to speaking, it wasn't difficult. You understand? So when it comes to going out to represent my school, competing with students in other secondary schools, people that were in art classes in their own school, I would go there
And compete with
and
them.
compete with them. And of course, I won't come back.
So that means even while you were a science student, you did not lose yourself.
Actually, even though I wasn't super conscious of it, it's
At that
in
time.
retrospect that I realized that, wait, this thing has always been there. This thing has always been there, and I just did not pay enough attention
To it.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much. I think that from the conversation we've had, there's been so many lessons to learn. Number one, obedience as a student. I would always preach the fact that yes, there might be times when you need to disagree, but you need to disagree to agree with your parents. And also to parents out there, please, you necessarily cannot live your dream through your through your children directly. Yes, you might desire, you can try to talk them into it. If they're not agreeing, please let them explore who they are. And to students out there who are struggling to accept the path that they have to currently be, just like she has said, she was a science student, yet she could still go for competition. So that means that even if you are not where you want to at this time, you can still make the best use of it, and you can still be developing other areas where you are interested. You said you didn't even know, imagine. But for people that know, right, you can do that which whatever situation you find yourself, I always say it, whatever your hand find it to do it with all your might. You might not enjoy it, you might not understand, but do it, give it your best so that while you are at it, you are not failing because, they pushed me into it. So thank you very much. This has been such an exciting conversation.
Thank you.
In the next episode, we'll dive deeper to how you now found yourself as a creative and how you've been able to navigate that journey. Thank you. So to our viewers,
Thank you.
We'll catch you in the next episode. Please like, subscribe, and invite other students to learn from this channel. Thank you very much.